Hey guys, welcome back to Tea Time. I'm your host Jaelyn. I'm here with AJ. Guys, he
Hello.
was mocking my intro. I think I need can I get a montage of just like every time I intro it from the last like videos we've had? I think I do this every time, or I do like,
Just like
hey
when
guys,
we hit episode 100, I'll do it.
just like, hey guys,
That,
like
that way
that
it'll be
whole
like a
thing.
5-minute video of you just.
Hey guys, hey guys. I do that every time. I do the little motion. Okay, AJ has a special surprise for us that he wants to share to the whole
Yes.
internet.
Okay. So I've been getting really bored and I picked up pen spinning. Now, I knew a little bit in high school and I only knew this one trick like that, right? Then I wanted to learn more tricks. So then I learned this one,
Okay.
right? And now I can make it, or I can get it continuous for a little bit. I hope I can do it. No, I'm camera shy.
Yeah, come on.
Hold on. Oh, here we go. Look at it.
Whoa! Oh,
I kind of lose it a little bit, but
where do you learn these YouTube pencil
yeah,
twirl
YouTube
tricks?
and being bored.
I feel like now you have to step it up one more notch. Now you need to learn how to baton twirl at this point. Now
What?
those
Why would I?
gymnastics.
No, I'm not gonna.
Would they not be
That's like
dumb?
your
You
whole
just
hand. That's not like just your fingers.
I
I
know,
didn't
but I
even
feel
have
like
room.
okay, true. That's why you go outside. So then you start flipping.
I'm not gonna
I
do it
think
outside.
oh, you don't want everyone to see your baton twirling skills.
Nah, I wanted to learn something I could do while in class, because then I could just slowly
Oh.
become the main character of an anime, you know?
They just like slowly zooming in.
Yeah.
And you just in class just twirling.
Yep.
Speaking of anime, what was in this? I don't know why I thought of it. I don't know what I was thinking. I think they just released a season of Seven Deadly Sins on Netflix. I got
Oh, I
into that
saw
show.
that.
I did not even finish it. I was so consumed about Squid Games. That's what we should talk about for the start
So
of the
good.
beginning of the episode.
Squid
Did you
Games.
finish it? Okay, so I
Yep.
finished it too. So I want to give a heads up, everybody. So we did not post. We haven't posted when we release this video. This will be a week from the last, probably a week from the last,
Uh,
maybe. No, it'll be like 2 weeks, maybe,
I'm
because we posted last Monday or two
yeah,
Mondays
last
ago.
Monday.
So we've been MIA just based off. Obviously, you guys know we're both in college. I had midterms last week, and I just was feeling like really overwhelmed with school. So I was like, I just need a break. So we took a little break from filming, but we're back on it, guys, and we're gonna get back on the trend by posting every Monday. So we're gonna get back on it because I know you guys love and you look forward to listening to our episodes. But back to what we're saying. Squid Games. I finally finished it. I finished it when I went home. So I did go home last weekend. I finished it. And let's just say, don't know what they're going to do for season 2. Kind of don't know what they're going to do there.
I think there's a quote. IGN took a quote from either a writer or maybe the director, and they wanted to focus on the police and their role in Squid Game.
So, like, police meaning like the people who are the little red guys. Is that what we're talking about? Like the squares? Are we talking about that? Is that what you mean?
I
Like
think they
those
mean
people?
the real police.
Oh, the
They didn't
real.
really say
Hmm.
like what the police meant, like who the police was referring to. I assumed it'd be the real police. So that means like if they mean the real police, then it would be like there would be some kind of insider person keeping the police away from the Squid Game. That's what I think.
Which was end up being so you finished it, right?
Yeah.
So okay, I'm gonna give just a spoilers for anybody who's currently watching it or trying to finish it, right? And towards the end of this episode, like the season, the headmaster guy, the guy was in the black, it was
Mm-hmm.
revealed that that was the cop's brother,
Mm-hmm.
which I was trying to understand it because obviously it's in Korean and the English language is not very well translated because we're missing a
Yeah.
lot, which I saw a TikTok about that. A girl was explaining like we're missing not a large part of the show, but like bits and pieces of it because since the English translations is wonky. But the guy ended up being portrayed his brother. So I think they're gonna in season 2, that's what's gonna be more of the storyline. Like, why did he betray? And I think personally, I think they're gonna have more of a storyline of how, like at the beginning of the show, I don't know the guy's name, the father of the child.
Mhm.
He, was on the subway and he had a choice to play. What was that game called?
I don't
Tian? I
know.
don't know.
I don't
Oh,
remember the
some game.
names.
I don't even want to say it. Anyways, one of the games that he had to like hit the paper and try to flip it. And he had a choice of picking red or blue. There was a
Mhm.
theory out there that people who chose red were like the headmasters, like the little minions of the game. So I
Mhm.
think they're gonna have more of a story about that side because, like, I bet you
Mm,
there's people who picked red. There had to be other people that picked red.
well, I bet there are people that picked red. I don't think that's the case, though. I bet some of them that picked red got to be
Got
in
into the
like
game.
yeah, but the reason I don't think that's true is because do you remember the group of I think there were circles in one triangle? Oh, and then there
Mm-hmm.
was one square that were taking the
The square
organs
is
of
the
the people
head.
that died.
Mm-hmm.
So that means they had to know what was going to be happening in the Squid Games, right?
It's true.
So I think the guys in red are either returning winners
Yeah, someone
or
said that.
they work for the investors
That
or
was mentioned, and
VIPs.
yeah, that was mentioned in a theory that the people who are in red were people who were past winners, but they're still technically were workers in their eyes because they had numbers as well as the people in the blue. They were workers to the headmaster. The
Mhm.
VIPs honestly kind of didn't understand their role. I guess they were just like investors, people who just kind of did they fund it. That's what I did. I low key kind of got lost at that point of the episode.
I think so because they also had some betting that they could do, so they could bet on the
Yeah.
people that won. Yeah, and uh, I think they're more metaphorical,
Uh-huh.
so they don't play a
The
huge
role
role
to
right
mhm.
now in this in that first season.
I read behind the scenes that this show was pitched back in 2008 and it
Hmm.
finally got to be presented on Netflix, and it literally probably is like the number one trending thing right now. It's so good. It's so
Yeah,
good. Just the stylistic of the games, because they were all childlike games. And so for it to be brought to life and they got murdered, like, oh my gosh, like so intense. Okay, AJ, what did you feel like? What was one of the scenes or one of the games that they're playing that kind of pulled your heartstrings a little bit when they, because you get to know the characters while they're playing the games, right? And so they're
yeah.
playing the games and you're connected to these people and then boom, one of them dies. What character just pulled your little heartstrings?
I don't remember the names of the characters, but I do know
Their
the
faces.
well, I remember them by how they got eliminated, I guess.
Okay, yeah, okay.
So in the marbles episode was
Yeah,
probably the most intense and
that
heartbreaking episode.
I was
Like
gonna totally bring that up too.
and especially the old man, like even though the old man like it they show him the later on at the very end in the season finale,
That was a
but
good twist.
still it was so like I just felt so bad for the old man. And then he's like, you know what, just take these marbles, it's okay. And I'm like, what a real one, right? Like
Oh, so that was the scene. I was referring to the same scene, the marble game, but the little he was I think he's Indian, the Indian guy, and
mhm.
he was playing the game with the guy who gave him the money at the very beginning of the season, like to get the
Yeah,
bus to where he was going. And he took his marbles and put rocks in them, and he pours it in there, pours the rocks. He looks, he's like,
completely
"Oh my
betrays him.
god, betrayed!" And you can just see in the back the guy in the red just pulling the gun. Right? I was like, you're that. I'm that moment right there. I was like, I hate this man. Really? Why you do that to my man? I was
Yeah,
like,
well, he was doing a lot of stuff that were slowly getting worse and
slowly
worse.
getting to it. Yeah, that he was slowly becoming a villain. It was harsh though. That was a harsh moment. Another good scene that I liked how they shot was the what game was it? It was the tiles where they had to jump on the glass.
Yeah,
That was a cool scene to show. I watched a lot of behind the scenes of it because I was just interested how they shot all this stuff. But I thought it was cool to watch that. I really liked that game. That was a cool game, just with the glass, the tempered glass. That was an intense. episode when, especially when the girl flipped the little tattooed guy, they just flipped, and I was like, bro, like she
Yeah,
did
she
that.
was
I was like, okay,
taking
that was
one
a
for
G
the
though.
team.
That was a G though, for real. Because she just hated him so much, she was willing to die for it. So I was like, okay, she a G. I mean, was she creepy? Yes, but that was really good. Also, the girl with the short hair, the one that like blew up on Instagram. She's blown up on Instagram now. That was her
Oh
like
yeah.
her
I know
first,
who you're talking about.
the first like her first acting role. Everyone loves her. Everyone thinks she's gorgeous. I definitely agree. She's super pretty. She's a model too, so that makes sense. But she was really good. And I also was sad when she died because the guy stabbed her right in the neck. But there was a theory on TikTok again. Like I said, I refer all my news from TikTok. They were saying in the earlier episode, they were when they left. You remember they were in the game and they all took a vote and they didn't want to play the game anymore, right? So when they went back to the real world, they had they were interacting with each people out there. There was references of how they were gonna die within when they were interacting in the real world. So when they came back to the game, that's how they died. Apparently, that's what I got. That's what was said in the theory. There was like subtle hints showing like, oh, this is how they're gonna die in the game.
Probably the writing is extremely elaborate, and whoever wrote all the small details is really good at paying attention to small details.
Most definitely. But only thing I just didn't understand about the whole concept was the grandpa, the old man, being like, I guess he's just, I don't know what was he exact. Was he the I don't know what his like, was he the one who was like funding all the games? I don't know. Like,
I think he's one of the VIPs.
One of the VIPs that he just enjoys. I don't know what he said. I forgot what he said.
Yeah, he said he enjoyed something. He said he enjoyed watching the games, but he even more so wanted to give people second chances. I think that's his justification for it.
So that's almost like how the whole conversation we had about like Jigsaw and how like Jigsaw had these traps for people. I know that's more extreme, obviously.
No, not even. It's just wrong. It's not the same. It's not at all the same.
We're not gonna go back in that conversation. But I'm just saying that was
they are both psychopaths and killing tons of people, but Jigsaw's more had a personal vendetta, whereas this old man picked people in debt.
Just pick people who was in debt. Yeah. That's it. Fight for money. I mean, shoot, it was a lot of money. I didn't think it was going to be only one person alive. So it was like 100 games that was just like on level 10,000.
Well, we haven't really seen the other games. So I think they went back to 1980s was what the files showed. And they have several runs per year.
Oh, yeah.
So who knows? There could have been more.
Different kind of games.
Yeah, it could have been like 2 people win, 3 people. Because it's a set number of games, right?
I think it was like, what, 6 games? They had 6 games that they played.
Yeah.
Which game did you think you could survive?
Which game do I think I could survive?
Like, which game would you think you'd be? How far do you think you could have gone? Just watching all the games, how far do you think you could have made it?
I probably would have been out in red light, green light.
The very beginning, AJ?
Yeah. But I would also try to take out as much people as I could.
Of course you would.
No, I wouldn't do that. But I probably would have been out in that very first one just because it's so intense that I would be like freaking out.
I mean, it made sense. A lot of people died at that first beginning. Like there like 450 of them, only like 200 people survived. 200 something.
A little over half survived.
Yeah.
Maybe it's a little under half.
Yeah, so a lot of people died because I mean, everyone's initial reaction would have been, if you heard gunshots, I would have been reacting the same way. I'd be like, oh my gosh. Especially when the guy's friend didn't know that he was dead. Like he's like, stop messing around, you're fine. And just sees blood. He's like, oh shoot. No, I think I would have probably got out at the tempered glass moment. I think I would have got out that game. Just based off of
50-50.
Big 50-50. They were lucky that they had a guy can like tell the difference. But when the lights went off, that sucked. But hey, at least they made it. I think I could have made it up to that point just because but like what at that game you had a choice to which if you wanted to go first or last or in between. What did you think was a smart move? Is it smart to go first? Is it smart to go last?
No, it's definitely not smart to go first.
I know. I'm just saying, like,
'Cause-
where do you go with?
Well, I'm just saying going first would mean you'd have to guess correctly for,
Hmm.
I don't know, what was that, like 20 tiles or something like that?
Yeah.
So that I think it was like the fourth or fifth guy who's like a mathematician that did it in his head. That's the odds you're going against if you're going first. So
Well,
it's smartest to go last because then all the tiles are broken.
at that point, yeah, just based off. I think that at that point there was only I want to guess. I think there was 14 people left at that moment of the game. I
And
think
I'm
14
pretty sure it
people
was
left.
16.
Okay, I see. I didn't know the
But
exact
yeah,
number.
it's still,
It was like I knew it was an even number, but like it's still risky. I don't know that it was overall the show was pretty intense.
how is it risky to go last? I'm just curious
I would
to
say I
know.
wouldn't say it would be risky to go last. I didn't say it'd be risky to go last. I'm just saying like that game in general was just really risky because I mean, who knows who would have
Oh
been
yeah, they
first,
all are.
who would have been last, and who knows,
Yeah.
someone could have been evil and pushed me or something.
Yeah,
I
I
mean,
mean
also you
that's
had a time limit.
and the toughest part is that they didn't know the game. So
Exactly. So like it was different if you had someone that kind of could tell. I mean, like eventually they caught on. They're like, oh, I could tell the difference with the glass. And that's when they kind of had that disadvantage turning the lights off. And that kind of jacked everything up at that point. That's what I would say was got kind of feared me. I was like, oh shoot, like lights are off. We still have like less than 2 minutes to get across this thing. We gotta hurry up. That's the only reason why I would just think I would just hate that game. And I know it would get out just because I don't know. Maybe I would go in the middle. Maybe not last. I would go like in the middle, like maybe like towards the back, like number 10. I'll go towards the back. I want to be the very last person, just because
mhm.
everyone in the front maybe be freaking out so much and like being going so slow. So I'm probably going in the back, like towards the back a little bit, but not very last person. I don't know why. I just don't be last. I don't know. I don't know. But overall, good show. Finally finished it. Yeah, like I said, I finished it last week. So now I need a new show to watch. I need something new to watch and something new to listen to music wise. I saw that you sent me music on
Yep,
TikTok.
I sent you
I
the
said watched
MF
it.
Doom starter pack.
MF Doom starter pack. I watched 10 seconds of the video. Thank you. I didn't listen to the music yet. I said yet because I haven't listened to it yet. I just haven't got around to it because school has been kicking my booty. Have you took your midterms yet or no?
Yeah, we're like the second round of midterms.
Second round. Second round.
Well, it's I'm pretty sure our school's structured different from your school.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to see. Like, what does that mean for you?
So all of my classes except for one take 3 exams and then a final.
That's wild.
Yeah,
Never could be me.
my other class does 4 exams and a final, or with our lowest exam being dropped.
I just had an advising meeting with my teacher. I'm at my professor. No, what? I had an advising meeting with our academic advisor for like
Mhm.
he's our academic advisor, but I had to have a meeting with my department because I needed to figure out where I'm at credit wise. I come to find out that I'm 8 credits behind and I would not be able to graduate in the spring of 2023. So I'm trying to like catch up now. And I also was trying to declare a minor in either psychology or applied communications because I want a minor now because I don't know why I want to do that, but I'm really interested in psychology, which I've kind of dabbled in talking about on our podcast a little bit, but just
Mhm.
understanding the minds of people and understanding all that. So that's why I'm kind of interested in do psychology, but I don't know if we'll be able to do it. But we'll see. I have to figure that out in the spring. We're already rolling for classes, but next week for the spring. I feel like the school year is going by fast. Do you ever just wake up in the morning and
Nope.
it's already like, he's like, no, I don't wake up. I'm not even here right now. You just wake up and just, you feel like you start the day off right. You're like, okay, I'm getting up early. I'm going to get stuff done. And then boom, it's already like 2 o'clock. That's how I feel like today. I did a lot of things today. Like I had to take a drug test this morning at 6:30 in the morning. I had a weight room at 7. I had an advising meeting at 9. And I got back here at like 10:30. and it's already 3, almost 4 o'clock right now, at the time that we're recording right now, guys. And I don't know where time went because every day I feel like time just flows by, and I feel like I didn't get anything done, but I did do stuff, but I didn't get anything done. That's how I
Do you
feel
have a schedule planner or something like that?
No, I don't have a
Oh,
schedule planner. I
I
don't like
I
writing
noticed.
things
So
down.
yeah, I'm the same way, but I have not run into that problem because I don't have a schedule planner. So like my freshman year, I tried to dedicate specific times to do homework, studying, stuff like that. It just did not work. So now I just do anytime I have free time is when I probably do homework. So if I'm waiting for class to start, I just look at the homework, at least write down the questions or something. Or if I'm like, the only time I just like sit and relax is when I'm eating. I
Mhm.
never do work when I'm eating, and that's it.
I mean, the only reason why I have like, I wouldn't say a planner, but the only reason why I have like a schedule throughout my day is because I run track, and
Yeah.
track
So it makes it a
is
lot
revolves
difficult.
that revolves around my schedule. It's like our coach says here, this is what time you have to go to weight room. This is what time you have to go to practice. Like freshman year, we used to have designated study hall times. Like we used to have to go to study hall, and we had to do 5 hours a week of study hall. And I was like, I can't do this. But yeah, I've never been a fan of writing things down. I've never been a fan of dedicate time to do stuff. When I wake
Yeah.
up, I'm like, okay, I'm just going to try to get work done when I could get work done. So, like I said, I didn't really get work done until 10. And it took me 2 hours to do the assignment because I had to watch an episode of Modern Family, which I think I might need to dabble into that show because it reminds me of The Office, but just like, family style of it. And I thought it was a little funny watching it, but I had to do it's conflict management. And I had to like watch it and like identify a positive face, identify a negative face, like how to identify stuff in the show. And I was like, this is
Interesting.
dumb.
This
That's
is
my
dumb.
it's my least favorite class, but that's why they want me to minor in applied communication because that's an applied communication course. That's why they're like,
Mhm.
you've taken like 6 classes in applied communication. Why
Taken.
not just be a minor? Okay, really? You're correcting me. Okay, Mr. English. Sorry. I have my own dictionary, guys. I just talk my own ways. Oh, today I was lifting, right? And I went to go pull the bar up, bop, right in the chin. That's why I'm rubbing my chin if anyone's noticing. I'm like, it hurts. I like hit the top,
You
like
need
the
better
tip
lifting
right there.
form.
Clearly, because I don't know how. And guess how much well, no, because the bar was light. It was like 65 pounds.
Well, I'm just no better lifting form, just because I'm pretty sure good form doesn't mean you hit your face. So
I've definitely done that's the second time I've done this in like the 3 years I've been here lifting at this school. Like,
that's
oh my God. Oh, the other day, this is why I just want to talk about, I want to talk about right now to transition to something new about
Mhm.
just spoiled kids. Let's talk about
Okay.
spoiled people. So okay, I don't know if you, what year did you move to our town? Like what year? I don't want to say our town's name because I don't want people to know where we live. What year did you move to?
Uh, been there all my life.
Really? Oh, I thought you lived
Hmm.
somewhere else.
Nope.
Why did I thought you were somewhere else? Maybe I'm thinking the neighborhood. Okay, when did you move to our neighborhood? What year was that? What grade were you in?
Like 2011,
Okay,
20,
but you,
2008,
but you, but
something
you've
like
been there
that.
your whole life for real, like for real.
Yeah, for real, for real.
Oh, whoa, that's wild. Okay, sorry, I didn't. Well, of course would never run into each other because you went to public school and I went to private school, but I didn't know that.
Hmm.
Okay, but okay, so you moved to that neighborhood like 2011. Okay, so there was a car wreck that happened in 2013 that was right there near Spinks, right? And it was a
Yeah.
drunk driver, and he plowed like 4 people, killed 4 people, and had critically injured. I think I can't remember the exact number. Bless you.
Sorry, thank
7.
you.
Like let's just say 7. I don't know the exact number, but
I
like he
remember that
heard.
story though.
Yes. Okay. So you did hear the story. Okay. So you know
Yep.
how he claimed affluenza,
Hmm.
that he was too rich, guys, to understand that he hurt people, whatever. Now
Yep.
that blowed my mind that you can be so
Blue.
rich. Okay. Stop. You're throwing me off. Guys, that literally just blew me because I was literally so like, you killed people, you killed 4 people, you were drunk, like he was over the percentage of like the alcohol limit, and he was 16, might I add. And he ended up running away from the cops. Like they fled him. They fled him and his mom. Fled to Mexico. But no, still best thing he got was like probation.
Yep.
And that's when I realized
Ridiculous.
that's when I realized that spoiled kids, I don't what do you get out of life?
I think that's just most rich people in general, though.
Yeah.
Because there's an old tweet that I remember of this guy who has like a rich friend, but he's not rich. And so his rich friend like went to a parking spot and it was handicapped. He's like, hey man, it's a handicap parking spot. He's like, yeah, no. I was like, I'll just pay the fine later. And I'm like, is that how rich people view things? Like it's just how much it costs to do that?
And I wouldn't even say rich parent, like rich, like, adults. I want to say rich children who have parents that give them the money to do the things they do. Because there's difference, because those
They're
parents,
probably
they
even
probably,
worse. Yeah.
yeah, the parent, yeah, they're probably worse. But it's different when you actually work for your money and you become rich. That's fine. Like,
Yeah.
you have your own business, you're doing your own thing. That's fine. But people like the Kardashians, I don't know why they're rich because I don't know what they do. I never know how they even got famous because they didn't do nothing. But if you have your own business, your own clothing line, that makes sense. You're rich because you're working so many hours to perfect your craft to get the money that you want. That's great. But children who get born into wealth, I don't know what you get out of life. Like how you never get that feeling of making your own money. You never get that feeling of doing your own thing, like buying your first car, doing this, like the stuff, big adult things. I don't know. I don't, that's how I personally feel.
Yeah. I mean, of course they're gonna lack in some areas because they haven't had to work for something like money. But there are some rich kids that realize that they have tons of money and that they have that freedom to just choose, or no, they have the luxury of choosing to like follow their dreams.
Yeah.
And those rich kids like that generally come off as okay.
Yeah,
Because
but
they
I don't
have
see a lot
something
of them
to
around.
strive for. Yeah, I don't see a lot of them either.
Exactly. But like even like kids around our town that what we would classify as like wealthy, I would say, because like our town is very like middle class people, right?
Yeah,
But
there's
there
some old
are,
money there though.
yeah, some old money, but the people that are living there, that a little small percentage, especially that went to our high school, they typically had a little bit more money, and their parents are able to afford them to go to Baylor University.
I know exactly who you're talking
Who
about.
we're talking about.
I know.
The exact
It's so
person.
funny. Yep.
Because, oh my God, but I'm just saying those kids in that percentage who literally get their college paid for, and they're like, I'm not worried about debt. But the rest of us, we're out here like, I am worried about debt. I need to make sure this is paid off. I want to have a life. I don't want to be stressing over this. You're over here like, it's money. Like kids I know that have family in like the college industry can get into college because they know somebody that can get them in. That must be nice.
I have family in the college industry.
Do you really? They're like, who's
Yeah.
like that can get you like in the mission?
Probably. Did I ask them for help? No, I did not.
No. See, that's what I'm
Because
saying. You want to work for yourself.
yeah, I worked for it and I wanted to feel that achievement.
Yeah, but other kids are like,
yeah.
Sorry, what are you gonna say? Sorry.
I was saying too, college was like the goal for me. Right.
Yeah.
So like I think I mentioned this before when people ask me like, oh, what do you want to do after college? It's like I have no idea because college has been the goal for me. So that's why I really wanted to just work to get into college. I don't want to rely on someone else.
That's why I don't get that percent, especially around our town. Like there's nothing special where we're from, guys. It's literally nothing. Nothing goes on. But it's just the fact that those kids are like, oh, I have a Mercedes. What do you have? Oh, you have a Chevy? You have a Nissan?
Like you have a used car?
You have a used car? Oh my gosh. Like I think people that are just like, you drive that thing? Like, how does that break down? I'm like,
Your boyfriend didn't get you a mum that cost $4,000. Wow.
$1,000. Guys, Texas and the homecoming, bro. I can't. I remember freshman year, or was it sophomore year? I don't know. One of the girls who was like 4'11", she was in the senior class. She literally made her own mom, and it covered her whole body. You couldn't even barely see her face. And that girl probably spent maybe $400, $500 on a mom. I saw a TikTok. They were like, okay, hey, what's your name? How much did your mom cost? So they were like, oh, hi, my name is Jessica. My mom costs $250. Do what? Who's paying all that money to pay for a mom?
Mm-mm.
That are a bunch of ribbons and a bunch of flowers? That you
$3.
literally just
Take it or leave it.
he said $3. Hey, you're like, if you're going homecoming to me, your max $50. That's it. Don't go over the
No,
budget.
that's too much. $20. That's all you're getting.
$20. You better
I can
buy it.
I can stretch $20. I would learn how to sew
So,
and everything
he
just
literally
to
can make
make sure I don't spend more than $20.
He said, I'll make a $20 mom and make it big, but within my $20 budget.
Exactly.
Imagine that. Literally just start pulling other crafts out freaking grass. Just start just making a bunch of stuff. No, literally high school and the moms, man, I couldn't. They had
So
first
extra.
off, so extra loud in the hallways because girls have like bells. They're like and lights, strobe lights. Over here getting a seizure. You got all that. You got the bears on them. You got people's pictures of themselves on the moms. Like, okay, we get it. You're very self-absorbed by yourself. We get it. Because I know a lot of girls did not have dates to homecoming. They're like, I'm making my own homecoming, mom, because I want to make it right. Because, you know, guys, typically they get a date. They're like, okay, mom, here you go. You make it. Because if guys make it, which I've had a guy make a mom, literally was terrible. The worst mom I've ever seen. No offense. Sorry. My senior year homecoming date. He knows who he is. Your mom was bad. I literally had to trash it and buy me a whole new mom. I had to buy my whole new mom that night. The night he came over to my house. The next day I said, I had to buy me a new mom. And lucky it was Thursday the next day. And I had to make a whole new mom. I also got asked to homecoming the day before homecoming. I had to buy a garter from Target.
Okay. Wow.
We talk about budget, AJ. I was on a budget that year. Day before, there was no stuff left. And I had to buy whatever was there at Target. No, HEB. I bought it from HEB, not Target. HEB. Because HEB already had pre-made like mom's garters for like each high school. So I bought the one from our high school, of course, and just bought a bunch of stickers and a bunch of stuff. And I said, here's a garter. This is what you get. And then his mom made me one in one night. And it was so pretty. And I felt so bad that I gave him like a $5-10 garter that was so trash that I hot glued together. And I was like, after that, I was so done with garters and moms. I won't go back to those days again. I can't. I can't. I think that was that's PTSD right there.
There's a lot of stuff that our high school would do that it just didn't make any sense to me. Like I felt like the only reason we did it was so the select group of students could feel good about themselves. That's it.
Pep rallies, perfect example. I think pep rallies were opportunities for people to be like, I can shine. I can shine. I can be loud. I can do this. Like that's okay. Yes. Was I one of those people that liked pep rallies? I did like pep rallies.
Yes, you were. You're one of those loud, self-absorbed people.
I definitely was. I loved pep rallies because, like, I was new to public school and I didn't know nothing about pep rallies. Like when I first came out, I was like, "Oh my god, this is like so much!" Like people like singing. What class was it? The senior class of 2018 was the most driest class.
Most driest
class. They were dry. Okay. They were dry. Yes, because it was pink out. I remember this exactly. It was pink out pep rally, like the day, like pink out. Right? None of them showed up. None of them was there. No one of them. They all skipped pep rally. This is before we started. Like I don't know how we started forcing pep rallies. That's how you know the school's getting bad.
Everyone was skipping pep rallies.
Did you skip pep rallies?
Yeah. I don't think I did, but I also like. I wouldn't skip pep rallies, not because I didn't like them, but because I was like, what else am I going to do? I'm just going to stay here. I have to stay.
You sat at the top. You sat down
at the top. Time. Well, so it didn't make any sense because they're like, we're going to start forcing all the students to go to the pep rallies. I'm like, maybe if no students go to pep rallies, that's a sign to just not have them
Yeah,
and do
exactly.
something better.
Do something
You know?
different. What other things that I thought was so necessary in our class? Like, I'm trying to think, like high school, like what was things we did that were so unnecessary? I don't know. My senior year,
The
like, I'm
that
trying to
like
think.
athletics parade.
Athletic
I
parade. What was that?
Yeah, you don't. You were in athletics. You would go to that parade, wouldn't you?
Was it? Are you talking like Meet the
Like
Spartan
at the
night?
beginning. Yeah, I think it's.
Uh,
Is it Meet the Spartan? Is that what it's actually called?
it's like when they like introduced like all the athletes.
Yeah, I
You go through
just
little tunnels.
it was so football centered that I was like, I don't want to be here anymore.
Yeah, because they would walk. They'd be like, "This is men's soccer, coached by blah blah blah. The
Yeah,
soccer
and
team has this." Like they would say, "Oh, that's yeah."
it would
That's
be like 10 seconds for the soccer team, and like, and here's the football team, and they have a special performance for you guys, and it's like, okay,
Did we
can
get
we do
this?
our thing? Can we? Yeah, like,
Get a dance? Oh yeah, because even the pep rallies, the football players like dance with the cheerleaders, and I was like, why do they get all this treatment? But it's Texas because football is everything
yeah.
there. That's what I realized. No, I also what other things I thought were, you know, what was bad? I really enjoyed making the little news show at our school, but I think it realized it gave me a lot of like light that I should not have had because I got popular at one
Hmm.
point to a point where this guy posted on his story and called me the B word on his story and then proceeded to post me on this, like on the news thing while they're watching in class. He posts me and he's like, this girl needs to shut up, or saying like, oh, we get it, you're on Spartan Spotlight, you're so cool. And I was like, not you trashing me, I'm doing my
Yeah,
job, sir.
it's like, okay, this is a class.
Yeah, this is part of my
Where
grade.
where are you now? Still failing uh
Not even in
like
college.
remedial math or something. I don't know.
Does it ever just give you like, I don't, maybe I'm just a bad person, maybe not, I'm not bad, but it kind of like gives me joy, not joy, but it makes me laugh when I see people in high school that were just like, they were
Fail.
high and mighty,
Yeah,
kind of,
and you
not
just see
not
them
failed,
fail. Yeah.
but they were like popular. They were like star quarterback. You know, they were all this stuff in high
Or
school.
some, yeah.
Something so small and something like they were just a big deal in high school. And they get out of high school and they just peaked. And they go to
Hmm.
college and they just drop out and become a SoundCloud rapper because
I
that's what
mean,
kids in our town want to do
it
nowadays.
is satisfying to see that, but I do not wish it on people. So
Oh yeah, of course not. Would never wish it on my own enemy. But is it funny to just see people that end up that way?
definitely.
Because it's like funny to see girls who were like, you know, they were just like, you know, the goody two shoes. They were like, they're pretty like, you know, middle people in high school, and boom, pregnant. You're like, what? You were capable of this the whole time? Like,
We're capable of this.
like they were just people who just like blended into the crowd. Boom, child. Like, I feel like 4 girls in our high school, maybe 3 of them, got pregnant in our high school after we graduated. Just because
Oh
I
yeah, I
followed
don't
them
know.
all on Instagram.
I
I
did
followed
not.
them.
So
Oh, no hate to them. No hate. I'm not trying to hate on you guys. That's teen. Well, I mean, they're not teens because they're 20, but like pregnancy, you go for it, girl. It can never be me.
pregnancy.
Never could be me at 20. Power to you. Like, have that baby and you cool, but never gonna be me, you know? Can't be me. But I'm just saying, it's funny just to see how people in high school turn out because
Yeah.
they're the exact opposite of what I
It's
experienced or
it's definitely
thought.
weird now because high school was not that long ago. It was only what, 3 years, 2.5.
Yeah, I keep getting memories on Snapchat. It's been 3 years from our senior year, but 6 years ago from our freshman year.
Yeah, so that's actually not that far back. So it's like, dang, you didn't even last that long. Like
Yeah,
you
like,
could
dang, like
have.
we've only been 3 years out, and you're already just balls to the wall going crazy. Like,
Yeah.
now, if anyone in our high school goes to jail now, I wouldn't be surprised because some folks were given very much school shooter vibes. And
That's not
actually,
where
I
I
was
thought you
never.
were going with it.
Oh, what are you say?
Not at all what I was thinking.
what was it, our junior year that like we had to go in like lockdown because there was a kid who was like gonna come on campus. He like told his
I
mom,
think
I'm going to this high school and gonna shoot it up or something
there
like
were
that. I don't know what
there
it
were a
was.
few instances that I remember of like school shooting scares. I
Yeah.
remember one of them was very real, and I think that's when we were on lockdown. And then two other ones were like jokes, and I
So bad.
I sort of knew the people that
Who
were,
made the jokes?
yeah. And so I had a little bit of an insight on the aftermath. And
Oh my
one of
gosh.
the guys, I'm not going to say his name, so he's safe. One of the guys put a picture on Snapchat of of this like I think it was like a water gun, one of those like see-through water guns.
Oh my gosh.
And he said, "Don't come to school tomorrow," with like a devil emoji and like a tongue sticking out emoji. And then
Oh my God.
he said he got called into the office and there were a whole bunch of like a police detective and police in there. And he was confused as to why it was happening because it happened like the police showed up like weeks later. And
Uh,
uh the like principal or whoever was in charge at that time gave
mm.
him an envelope, and in the envelope was a
The
screenshot
picture
of the picture.
just like
And he
blowing
said,
up.
yeah, he said he lost it. He was laughing so hard at that picture, at how professionally it was presented to him, and how like they took it.
Oh
I mean, they had to take it serious because it's their
yeah, school
job,
shooting. Come
but
on. Yeah,
it
yeah.
was also really funny, and I just wished I was there. Like it was just,
Just imagine them just
it
sitting
just
him
sounds
down.
so funny.
Just imagine him sitting down. So I came to speak to you. What is this? Just, like slides it to him. He's like, open that up.
He's
And
like,
they're
"Care
like
to explain this to
serious.
me?"
And just pulls it out. They're like, it's a water gun. They're like sitting there. Why did you bring it? They're like going at him. And I can just imagine that moment, just pulling out an envelope of just a screenshot of a water gun saying, "Don't come to
It's
school."
and the see-through water guns too, so it's
Yeah,
very clearly a toy, and the emojis just make it better, and like
yeah. Just the moment of him just sitting there,
uh,
like, "Why am I here?"
if that
I
was
mean,
me, I would be caught between like laughing and trying to take it seriously. Like it just it's just so funny to imagine.
oh man, I remember when it was like the time that it was serious. I was definitely scared because my mom was like blowing my phone. She's like, "Are you okay?" And I was like, "I don't know what's happening," which is so sad for people who's been like in other states and even our state ourselves that's had mass school shootings and people have
Yeah,
died. And that is literally
terrible.
keep watching YouTube videos about them, but like literally people who've survived them, I think they're traumatized for life, and that's why like I hate guns. So
Yeah, I mean,
scared of
because
them.
school's supposed to be a very
A
safe
safe
place.
place, yeah.
Yeah,
And when you compromise that, it's just like, how can you face or go back to school after that?
yeah,
Yeah,
it's
thank
rough.
goodness that never happened to us. Like I would be like Timberview, the whole thing that happened at Timberview,
Hmm.
that was rough. I think that hit not just Arlington area, but that hit like everybody in the nearby areas. Like that
Yeah,
was a rough situation. I understand that the kid didn't know better. Okay, understandable. 18, you're dumb at that age. Of course, you're a guy, you're dumb. Understandable. But my biggest thing is like it's all about the object that you decided to bring up to the school.
hmm,
There's evidence of its Instagram page that he had in his car before. Like, why are you licensed? I don't know if you're licensed. Is that his own gun? Like
I don't
stuff
think
like that. Mm.
Texas, the gun laws in Texas make no sense to me. They really don't,
Yeah.
because it's you need there's a concealed carry license, and then
Mm,
some kind of assault rifle something license. I forget that one's
mm,
called. And then there's also special license if you're in the military, which makes sense because they are trained
yeah.
professionals with guns.
Yeah.
But if you don't have a license, it's totally fine to have a gun. If you don't have a license, you can have it in your car, and it can be unloaded,
Mm.
uh, and it can't be within reach, I think. These also might be old laws. They've been changed so many times, I
So many
can't keep
times,
up.
yeah.
But, and then I think there was another time when you could have a gun in your car, and it could be loaded, but the clip had to be separate from the gun. And I'm like, okay, well, it takes like 2 seconds to load a
Seconds to
clip
like,
in a gun.
yeah.
Yeah. I'm like, okay, that doesn't make any sense. So then if you like read more into it, that only applies to handguns. Now, if you have a shotgun, nothing wrong with it. It could be loaded, it could be cocked and ready. You could be holding it in your arm while driving. And I'm pretty sure that's completely fine. I
And the cop
think
be like, pull you over, be like, oh, you have a great day, sir. You have a great
be
one.
like, oh, not a handgun? Okay, that's fine. That's like, it doesn't make any sense. And then there's other like assault rifle like weapons that aren't technically assault rifles. So it's completely, they fall under the laws of shotguns or something. And I'm like, it doesn't make any sense. It just, a gun's a gun. Like they all
Yeah,
shoot
exactly.
people.
They all
They're all
the
very
same.
deadly. Yeah.
Yeah. I look at them as dangerous. I explained this to my sister. We actually had a long conversation about the incident. So she was telling me that like his bond was high. His bond was like 75,000 to get out of jail. Okay. So she was saying like, oh, if he was white, they would have ruled it as mental illness, which typically that does happen.
Probably.
Because typically people who shoot up schools have been predominantly white. They've been white. Okay. That's just proven facts. And provenly, they always had mental health. So I understand. I get it. It can always become a racial issue when it gets it. But I wasn't looking at that situation as race. I was looking at the object itself. That's where I think not just our state, but our country is just failing us as people. Because how are you allowing people to be able to have guns who are not even like, that kid's probably just freshly 18. I don't even know if he's like, I don't know how, like when he turned 18, like whatever, like he's just not eligible to vote. You know what I'm saying? Like, like you're letting people who not even fully developed yet, like he's not even a full adult yet. He's freshly 18, senior in high school, trying to figure out his life. And he just owns a gun. Like that's what I was looking at. I was looking at the gun itself and how I feel like, I don't think his parents felt him. I don't think that he is a bad person. I just think our state and our country is failing us as people.
It's harder to get a car in Texas than it is a gun.
Yeah, a gun. Yeah, exactly.
I think you have to be 25 to rent a car. And most car dealerships won't even talk to you until you're like 21. So
it's like how, like, I don't know, like that. I mean, yeah, I mean, you can die in a car wreck, of course, but I'm just saying, like, why would you just be like, oh, you want a gun? Sure, here you go. You don't know how to shoot it? No, that's fine. Go for it. We're Texas. We love guns. We love this. Like, no, don't even start with laws. Especially like right now, what's going on with the abortion law right now that's trying to, get
which is right now. Ridiculous. It is
ridiculous.
I don't normally speak out on government policies and stuff like that, but that's actually crazy. Like I can't believe it passed at all. I can't believe it's considered at all, to be honest.
Who thought that a bunch of men, I know there's women that's on obviously in the Senate, like all that type, but mainly men, they all sat down and said, you know what? I think it's time for us to pass a law that says women, nope, I don't care. I don't care if you're raped. I don't care if you incest. I don't care. I don't care. You can die from childbirth for all I care. Sorry. You're having the baby. Especially 6 weeks. Girls don't know at that point. Some girls won't know until 5 weeks in. And I had a personal friend who got pregnant and she found out 5 weeks in and she was wanting to get an abortion. And they said, you cannot get one. You won't have time. By the time you try to, the process of trying to get abortion is so long that by the time she would probably get in, it would already be too late. It's already past 6 weeks. It's already done.
Yeah.
And I don't know. It just, I everything that's been going on in the world since probably forever. Just first off, just being a minority itself. I mean, you can obviously understand we're not, as you can see, guys, we're not white. We're not white. We're not the despite standard. How we sound. I
get that so much.
I get that all the time. Just because we're educated people. We're just educated people of color here. But like, we're not the typical white cis male in the world. That's what we're not. This is what the world's built on. It's built for those people to succeed, right?
We're not. I don't 100% agree with that, but yes.
But I'm just saying that's how the world is viewed. It's like if you are white and if you're a male and you're straight, you're not going through so much I would say, I mean, and I don't want to say adversity because of course everyone has their own personal challenges, but I'm just saying like being African American, being born into it, there's you I don't have a choice to pick my skin color, but people will hate me just because I'm black. Or I
Mm-hmm.
can get killed by police officers, like wrongful police officers, just because they're
Mm-hmm.
racist. That's what I'm just saying. Like, no one's gonna pull over a white man and just be like, you know what? You're white. I hate you. Like, I'm just saying, like, you don't see that because the news
Mm-hmm.
doesn't show that, but the news is just bad because they like to portray everything in bad light. But I'm
Mm-hmm.
just saying, with the abortion law already being struck down by just being a black person in the world, now you're coming at me as a woman already, and you're telling me now I can't get an abortion. Like, read an article. Well, Sam read an article to me that this 16-year-old girl got raped by a family member, and she had to drive 8 hours just to get an abortion. She was 16. Imagine just being 16, literally not even have a driver's license yet, and you're trying to live your
Mm-hmm.
life, enjoy high school, and boom, baby, by an uncle, a dad, whoever in your family raped. It's a sensitive topic, and I know not a lot of people talk about it. And I know men, of course, can't relate in a way. Like it's hard to relate as a male. Like it's not
Mm-hmm.
affecting you in a way, but it's still like you still want people to support the fact, like, hey, like not everyone wants to have that option. We can't
Yeah.
have that
I
option.
mean, to me, again, I'm like you said, not a woman, so I don't know it to the same extent as you maybe, but just
Mhm.
logically, it just doesn't make any
Logically.
sense to me. Yeah. Just doesn't, from a human being standpoint, it doesn't
Mhm.
make any sense. So
Like, what's next? Are you guys gonna tell me to stop taking birth control? Because I take birth control. So you're gonna stop me from taking birth control now? Because at that point, a birth control is typically, I mean, I wouldn't say it's helping
I
me
mean, it
like,
should be free now.
oh, there's a lot of things I think should be free. I don't think I should pay for tampons and pads. I can't help that I have a period. There's so many things that I just don't understand we're paying for, but we have to. Like, I pay $9.63 every month to pay for my birth control. And that
It's
stuff should be free. Unless you have good insurance. If you have good insurance, it's free, but I don't have good
which
insurance. So I have to
is
pay.
another scam. Honestly, though, the whole like abortion debate, I think a lot of people are overlooking the fact, and it may be, I could be wrong about this, but I always tried to look into this anytime there's a new government policy that doesn't make sense. I always
Mhm.
try to look at how much money it could make.
Yeah,
So
you're
if
saving.
you get an abortion, let's think of all the things you don't have to pay for. So you don't have to pay for hospital bills. You don't
Mm-hmm.
have to pay for all the different vaccinations that the child needs to get.
To get. Mm-hmm.
What else? You don't have to pay for
Because does
uh
children use taxes? Like, does children are on taxes, right? So you
I think you
technically
get a
are
small tax break for having
tax break.
children.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure it's really small.
It's really small. Exactly.
Um, what else? Oh, you don't have to
Just
pay
like
for school,
school. Yeah. Because.
which is government funded.
Mm-hmm.
What else do you not have to pay for? You don't have to pay for children's clothes,
Yeah. Basic
diapers,
needs. Yeah.
formula, just a whole bunch of stuff, right? But then now, if you're being forced to care for this child,
Mm-hmm.
you're now given another great moral dilemma. It's like, do I put this kid up for adoption? What if he goes into a really bad family and then he has to live through all these terrible things? Maybe I'll
Mm-hmm.
just try to take care of this child. And now you have to pay for all that stuff, right? So now I'm thinking the whole banning abortions policy is making someone a lot of money
Mm.
somewhere. And I
And
think
that's
that's like
how
the
this world.
backbone of it.
Yep. I wouldn't be surprised because this world is built off greed. It's all about money. And that's the only thing
Mm-hmm.
people care about because that's just how the world works. Money is everything, and you have to have money to do these kind of things. So, of course, that actually, I never thought about that breaking that down, AJ. That actually kind of like opened my mind up even more that makes
Yeah.
sense.
And I absolutely hate it when people bring any type of religion into stuff like this,
That speak on
because
it.
they'll use their religious justification, but they use it wrongly, you know? It's like,
Mm-hmm.
I would agree with you here if you would apply this to maybe guns, uh,
Mm-hmm.
if you would apply it to, I don't know, like the suicide rates that are kind of high right now. Uh, what else? Maybe working conditions for workers that are like in that are working minimum wage and their conditions are terrible and they can barely live. You know, like at least apply it to everything, but not just picking a few things
Things
and
that
then
say.
using your justification wrongly. Like,
Mm-hmm.
this doesn't make sense. Doesn't make sense to me.
And that's like the whole debate. It's like the pro-life and like the pro-choice type thing. And I've never been a person that's like, oh, I'm
Mm-hmm.
100% pro-life. I'm 100% pro-choice. I'm a person who believes in morals and how I would feel just knowing myself at the age of 20 years old. If I got pregnant, I could not have the child just because the basic needs will not be met for that child. And
Exactly.
he or she would not be able to have the life that I want to have. Because I know in the future, I want to have kids. I want to have that life. I want to be married. I want to have the children. I want to have that white picket fence house. Like, I want that. I want to be able to spoil my children. But knowing at the age of 20, when I can barely take care of myself, I sit here, I stress all the time. I have anxiety. I have body dysmorphia. Like, I have so many things going on with me. I'm still trying to figure out my own self. How am I
Mm-hmm.
able to carry a child on top of that? Like, and have a child at that point when I'm still trying to figure out my own self. I barely know myself, let alone trying to handle the child. So that's why this abortion law is really, really touching. And it was crazy because I saw a TikTok, not TikTok, it was on Instagram. Someone met the governor. They're like, oh my God, are you the governor? And they're like, he was
Mm-hmm.
like, yeah, like went to go shake his hand. He's like, oh, you're a douchebag for that abortion law. Like, and the governor's just smiling. He's
He's
like,
already shaking his hand and he's like, yeah, I think
it's
I've
hard
seen
to
that
like,
video.
yeah, I have to send it to you after this. But yeah, that was that. If that was me, there's so many things I want to say to Greg out right now. There's so many things that he's just done for us that I just haven't felt so beneficial. Starting just with the whole COVID thing, I think that's when he started kind of going south. I mean, even with the whole the winter storm that happened back in
Mm-hmm.
February, and everyone's power and water and all this stuff, people's house flooding. Like what did he do? What did he do?
I don't know how um I don't know if the Republican Party did this or if just random people on the internet started doing this, but I remember
Mm-hmm.
everyone um blaming the Democratic Party for trying to implement um climate friendly energy alternatives in
Mm-hmm.
Texas, and they blamed that for why the winter storm flooding and all of our
Everything.
power going out and stuff. And I remember thinking about that and I was like, I think the problem was that our foundation infrastructure is terrible.
Terrible. Yeah.
The infrastructure that hasn't been updated since like the 20s, which
Yeah,
was
exactly.
put by the uh I don't think they were called the Republican Party back then, but what is now the Republican Party.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
Yeah.
I think y'all are forgetting some stuff. There's some
Yeah.
information that is not looked at or some other things. And then I was also thinking, hold on, these cleaner energy alternatives would have solved all of this actually, because it wouldn't
Yeah.
rely on these things and it would
Yeah.
have been better. So I
I
don't
swear
know. Just doesn't make
it
sense.
it doesn't. It's tough to see a place that you grew up or a town or a state that you live
Mm-hmm.
in just kind of go in the direction it's going. It hurts because I mean, obviously as a kid, you don't know what's going on. I mean, shoot, I don't even know
No,
who our
yeah.
governor was as a kid. I don't even know who was the president when I was a kid? Like, who was it? Clinton? I had no. See what I'm saying? Just like I don't know who the president was when I was in middle school and all this stuff. Like I wasn't paying attention to that. But now being older and obviously having the internet as more resource, because I mean, first off, I
Mm-hmm.
wasn't on the internet as much as a kid, but now I'm on it all the time. And especially just like TikTok, I always say TikTok I get my information, but that's what I'm saying. Like There's so many sites where you can get some information. So you're learning about what's going on in our system. That kind of just opens your eyes more like, man, we're pretty messed up here. And we need to get back on track.
Yeah. And
But
small disclaimer. I know I mentioned the Republican Party and the Democratic Party. I don't identify with either of them because I think they're both scumbags and have virtually the exact same agenda to please the rich, I guess.
Yeah.
So do not put me in any kind of box when it comes to politics because I hate politics with a passion.
And disclaimer for me, I understand that I seem like I'm very one way with a lot of things. This is how I believe. This is my opinion. This is the kind of things I believe. You can't tell me otherwise. So if you want to go in the comments, like, trolls go in the comments and be like, oh my gosh, what is wrong with? Nope, I don't care because this is what I'm gonna stand by. And also, I agree with AJ. I don't like politics as well. I'm sick of old white men in the office. I need someone younger because last time I checked, you can be at least 35 to run for office. We need new faces. We need new people. We need new stuff going on. Is it 35?
I think 35 is for president.
President, that's what I'm saying, just like in office. I mean,
the president doesn't have a whole lot of power. He's more like the queen, just kind of waves his hand and he says hello.
He's like, hey, I'm here. But like our governor should change because we've had,
I think there should be some reform in how that's handled a little bit.
Yeah.
Just because it's a very old system.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm just putting out a disclaimer there that like, hey, these are my personal opinions. This is my beliefs, and I'm not going to change it for anybody. You can sit there and preach to me how important it is for me to keep a baby. But if I get raped and it's incest, I'm not keeping it. But that's, like I said, that's my own personal beliefs, and that's what I'm going to stick by. So that's my disclaimer. But I think we're out of time here.
I think so. Yep.
We are. My mug's over there. But I appreciate you guys listening. I think this podcast has really just a brief little thing for me. This podcast has really like not, I wouldn't say changed my life, but it's made me rethink what I want to do in life. Kind of not. It's just what I'm studying in college. Like as everyone knows, I am a mass comm major. I study mass media, and I was really into film. I was into television for the longest time. And now doing this podcast and stuff and just doing research within media, it's made me change my mind, and it's made me want to become like someone like a radio broadcaster and be on the radio more, so you can hear my voice. So yes, I decided
that makes me feel really good.
Yes, thank you, AJ, because AJ is the reason why we start. Let's thank AJ's mom. Clap it up. Thank AJ's mom because she decided to, think that it was a good idea for us to start a podcast, but also thank AJ because AJ was the one who was like, let's actually just do it. I was like, okay. So this actually has gave me more insight and more like open my eyes more to think, you know what? I actually think I should just pursue radio and go for it and see what happens. But I'm obviously going to still do sports broadcasting, but I am going to look into radio. So thank you guys for listening to Tea Time. I have to do this way, AJ. This is going to look weird. And every time we do this,
it works in post. All right. So we got to do it this way.
All right. I have to go this way too?
No. Just me.
Okay. Clink.